Hi, welcome to another edition of Commercials I Hate.
Okay, we're trying something new today. So it looks like the mic works again, still continuously, but different than it used to be. We're trying something new. Okay, it also looks like the closed captions work. That's good. They're going. We like to see that. Okay. Wait, what am I looking at here? Okay. Be there in just a second. Just one second. Hello, welcome in. Hello. All right, hold on. Lock docs, there we go. All right, we made some edits this morning. If the sound is weird for y'all, please let me know. If it's different or unique, perhaps it is unexpected in a way. Let me know. I made some changes to the way that the sound works. Specifically, I made some changes to the microphone, which is exciting. And also scary, because changing your microphone is terrifying, to be honest. I'm gonna say hi, and then I'll tell you what I did. Shayna, welcome in. Good day. So Fluff, hello. 10 centimeters of snow. Boo. Boo. Nurse. 10 centimeters of snow. That's 2.5 inches for all of y'all in the Americas. That sucks. I woke up, it was not snowing. I in fact put I put the Gwen's portable heater that she uses in the basement to keep her feet warm when she's gaming. I put that away yesterday. Lisanth, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you are off to your day, your lurk already, but it's good to see you. I hope spring is springing appropriately and satisfyingly, and you're finding joy in the pockets where you can. Sita, welcome in. Almost at 20. That's one more check-in, Sita. You're going to be at 20. There you go. Slinka, hello. Good day. Welcome in. Robbie, hello. Good day. Welcome in. 111. That number's very appealing. It's appealing because it's just like, it's just like one of those numbers that you think about it, or you say it, and you're like, that was a good one. Forrest, welcome. It sounds different. It should sound different. It should sound slightly different. Yeah, Sofaf, I hope you are. The good thing about that is you don't have to shovel. The bad thing is you probably can't do other things either. I hope you're feeling better, improved, however. Generally, from that as well as the world, gestures broadly. Darlene on YouTube, welcome in. Good to see you. We're cooking today. What did I change with the sound? I'm going to say this again. Like, I'm going to continue to say this because it's important for me to say it out loud so I can, like, I don't know, say what I was doing. I changed a couple things with the microphone. I remember how I've been talking forever about incorporating, like, I want to make sure there's like kitchen sounds in the stream. Well, I figured out the setting on my computer that was stopping that from happening. It was not in OBS. It was not in the microphone, like, hardware settings. It was in my computer sound settings. Anyway, there's a setting in there that was like, you know, use custom setting to make sound better. Yes or no? And I had it set to yes. And I literally just turned that off. But then I was like, hey, the sound is really wonky. It's not like quite right. So I put a filter on in OBS to like reduce some additional background sounds. But what that all means is that this mic should sound more like the microphone that I use in IRL streams. So you should hear more background noise. Like, you should hear that. Whereas previously, you could not hear that. But I do think it makes my voice sound a little bit different. So if it is disturbing, I don't know, whatever. If it's weird, or I sound like robotic or inhuman in some way, let me know, because I am, you know, I can, because now that I know that I can turn that thing off, now what I can do is go back in OBS and like actually add levels and filters and like have it be dialed in, but it is not at all dialed in right now. It is just like, I turned the setting off and here it is. There's a bit of an echo with the clap. Okay, so like loud popping sounds. I'm gonna write down like feedback. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get some sort of echo from the music, and whenever there's like a sound command that goes off, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some level of secondary feedback. So, I don't know. We'll see.
No, I don't know what you mean, but I appreciate you.
So there you go. I'm sure that sounded maybe weird. I don't know. All I have control over today is I can change it back to the way it was and recalibrate later, or we can just like move forward and I can you know, figure it out as we go. But I am going to write down feedback. Thank you and so forth. I appreciate it. So that's going to be sort of an ongoing thing that I'm probably going to mention that conservatively like 50 times today. So get ready, because here it comes. Darlene on YouTube, I like your Al shirt. Thank you. I like it too. I don't know why I wore this shirt today. Actually, no, I do know why I wore this shirt today. Because I was out, I didn't have any more zip up, I didn't have any more hooded sweatshirts in the closet that I was feeling today. And of all the crew neck sweatshirts that I have, this one is sort of like the loosest, and I don't know, it's like the most comfortable. The other ones are like tight and they're meant for like athletics or something. I don't know. This is meant for just like lounging. I got it at a thrift store in, I don't know. I don't even know what year. A year past. It's different seeing me in white. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird wearing white too. It's not a color that I'm generally used to wearing. I wear white t-shirts occasionally, but it's not like a feature color. You're right. You're right. We're gonna do some cooking today. I am getting started. However, at the moment, I am. It is 11:38. It is still before noon. I'm gonna have a coffee while we're kind of talking through. I have a plan today. I also have a hard stop today. I have a hard stop at like... So when you're like, I have a hard stop, and then you equivocate on that, and you're like, nah. Anyway, I have to pick Calvin up today. He has an after-school activity. Pickup is at 5:45. I'd like to be wrapped, and I'd like to raid at 5 p.m. That's my goal. Raid at 5. We can definitely do it. This is extremely achievable with the schedule that I think I have today. But I don't know. There's a lot. And so today is a development day. I had a couple things that I'm doing for this month. We're into like summer stuff, spring and summer stuff now. So the two things that I'm working on today are a dessert salad, which is it has a bunch of different names. There's sort of like different versions that all have sort of different names to them. It's sort of like, I think if you're not familiar with like ambrosia salad, it's similar to that, and it's not. It has different ingredients than ambrosia salad. Anyway, ambrosia salad is another name for it. Some folks might call it. It could be like a rice pudding, but it's not as thick as a rice pudding. It's a little bit airier. This is a like straight up retro dessert. I got this recipe from my mom, who when she gave it to me said, I got this from my friend's mom in 1989. It says so on the original copy of the recipe that I have. I've crossed out the names so that I can show you it on stream. But anyway, it says originally from Mrs. So-and-so, 1989. So it's kind of fun. It's definitely a retro recipe. It uses Cool Whip. It uses canned fruit. It uses a generous amount of sugar and a little bit of flour. And that's it. And it also takes sort of overnight to marinate. So I'm gonna make it first today. And then we'll probably try it on Thursday. Like Thursday will be this sort of like, is this good? Because it definitely, it should marinate overnight. Oh, right. Boris, sorry, I buried the lead. Yes, and pasta. Orzo, specifically. It, Rosa Marina, like number 37 pasta is where the name comes from, not a famous person like I thought it was from all of my childhood. Waylam, welcome in. Hello. All of my childhood, I thought Rosa Marina salad was named after someone who was like a cook or chef or whatever. And because I grew up in the time where the internet was not available, I had no idea of like how to confirm that. I could have gone to the library. It never became like a pressing thing that I needed to just like look up, you know? So cut to me being an adult and finding out that Rosa Marina is like a specific type of pasta. The more you know. Anyway, I did forget the pasta, and that is the feature ingredient. Yes. Okay. So that's what we're starting with. Amber, welcome in. I just said like, you know, I just had like this weird vision of like me growing spider legs out of my back. I don't know why, but I did. So we're gonna make this Rosa Marina salad first. I have a couple notes and things that I want to maybe change about the recipe. has a sort of custard element to it. You add egg and flour and sugar and a little bit of the juice from the canned fruit, and you make like a custard out of that. I think I'd like to add an extra like egg yolk to that to make it more custardy. And cook it a little bit longer than what the recipe says. Some of the other, basically I have a bunch of comp recipes that I was looking up with different processes. And so I'm going to try to take some of what I found and sort of interpret it into this recipe that I'm making today. Because I am trying to hew pretty close to the one from my own personal childhood, because it is the one that I remember and is a little bit different than some of the ones you can look up on the internet. Anyway, that's rosmarina salad. We're going to do that first. The next thing we're going to do will be for dinner. Welcome in. Good to see you. Not and Getty as well. Welcome in. Oh, fuck, that's so hot. It's so hot. Okay, that's number one. So I have my sort of my base. If you've seen some like recipe development streams before, I just have like my base printed recipe with plenty of room for notes on the side. That's rosmarina salad. The second recipe we're doing today is for dinner. It's also sort of a retro recipe, as I would call it. These are both grandma recipes. One of the themes for this round of like pitch cycles was grandma recipes. So these are both a summer recipe and your grandma made this. And you know what's kind of funny now is like my grandma made this, but like grandmas now are like people my parents' age, and like my mom made it, so it still tracks. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, to a lot of the population now, grandma is someone different. Grandma's a generation different, so I had to like think about it. Anyway, succotash is traditionally lima beans and corn and okra. Often there's okra in it. And you mix it all together. Basically, you cook the beans, you cook the corn, you cook the okra. Excuse me. You mix it all together, and then you add a little bit of milk or heavy cream and butter. I am making something like that. I'm adding more to it, and I'm using some different ingredients. So succotash is like a loose description of what I'm making. Using butter beans, so lima beans, butter beans. Butter beans I think are functionally, we've had this conversation before. They now sell beans in a can that are labeled butter beans, and they didn't used to be labeled butter beans, at least that I remember. They used to all just be lima beans, but like now they just call them butter beans. This was the biggest glow up in the legume world, I think, because when you're a kid, you're like, ew, lima beans, right? I don't know. It's like the butt of the joke. It's like cartoons are like, oh, lima beans. It's like everything that the kid in the cartoon hates, right? Well, guess what? Now you got butter beans. Doesn't that sound better? Wouldn't you like some butter beans instead of some lima beans? What a glow up, right? Because if you read the ingredients, it says prepared large lima beans. It's just branding. And I'm here for it. We're using butter beans. Lima beans are the same thing. So, Amber says, I've never had okra. What's it taste like? Depends on how you cook it. If you deep fry it, it can be pretty crispy. Generally, okra is slimy. If you've ever had cactus or aloe, Like you ever like break a piece of aloe open and it's like slimy inside? It's like that. That's what okra is like. Just generally speaking. It adds thickness to things when you put it in. So okra, when you add it to like a chili or a stew, or in this case, a pile of beans and corn, it acts as like a thickening agent to that. I generally don't like. I don't prefer okra in its sort of that form. I like it when it's been roasted and some of that liquid is dried out of it. Avo, welcome in. I want to get some of those Rancho Gordo heirloom beans. I love dried beans. I've seen a couple like bean subscription services, and I keep meaning to. I don't know. I thought about subscribing to a bean subscription service, but then I just didn't. But I do enjoy looking at them. Rancho Gordo's the is that the brand? Is that the little bag that comes with? It has like the person on the front of it, but it's like an illustration of a person. I don't know. Like if and they're like a small bag. If what I'm saying is what you're saying, you're gonna know what I mean. Puts the glop. It does. Okra is, yeah, snotty texture. I hesitate to describe it as snotty because it's like a food, and I don't know, but yeah. There is a lady on there. Okay, yep, we're thinking of the same, and it's sort of like the dot matrix printer style illustration. True Caretaker, welcome in. Similar to chickpeas and garbanzo beans. Exactly. And I don't actually remember. Which one don't we like? Garbanzo beans or chickpeas? But yes, it's exactly the same thing. They just rebranded it and now it's butter beans, and they're next to lima beans in the store, and it's the same damn thing, and it's like wild to me. But branding, it's great. Got their packaging burned into my mind. I do. Their lentils are great. I love their little the lentil varieties they have. And it is funny because every time I go into there's one store in the Italian market, De Bruno Brothers, that has like their whole line of things. And so when I go in there, I always scope out their beans. And like I definitely have their packaging in mind. I think one of our moderators recommended them to me too at one point. Liz had this was like a year or 2 years, maybe 2 years, probably 2 years ago, when I was doing nothing but cooking lentils. There was a time last year when I was just cooking vegan food all the time. So stick around. We will learn all about other things too. Today we're not. Today are we doing? Is this vegan? It could. This succotash could be vegan. So we're starting out with the butter beans. Adding either shallot or onion. I kind of like shallot because it's just like you get some of like the sweetness of an onion without like the astringency. Astringency. Garlic, red bell pepper, corn, thyme, stock or water, and pesto or more herbs. So this diverges from a typical succotash in that it is not, we're not adding butter at the end, and we're not adding heavy cream. So purists may howl, but I don't care because this is good. And if I want to call it succotash, I'm going to, because it has almost all the same ingredients. So anyway, that's super easy. We're going to have that for dinner tonight. Basically, you just prep all the ingredients. You save the water from the beans. you saute the garlic and then the shallot, then you add the pepper, red pepper, then you add the corn, all in one Dutch oven. Then you add the beans, and if you're using fresh corn, you can throw the cobs in there, and that'll be nice too. You can't eat them, but they add flavor. Then you add all the liquids, so a little bit of water or chicken stock, a little bit of bean water. I don't know how much. We're gonna like determine that in the process of doing the recipe. And then you reduce that. So you just let it simmer for a little bit. It cooks. The beans are, the beans, the corn, it kind of all cooks down. At the end, instead of, for me, I'm adding a little bit of pesto instead of adding butter, because it's like oil and I didn't want to add butter. And instead of adding the thickness from okra, from like the gelatinous mucus of the okra, we're going to add some of the bean water, which is going to help thicken it. So that's the succotash. That's the second thing we're making today. Then the third thing we're making today is something different. Andrea, nice shirt. Thank you. I appreciate it. It is Who's Day after all. So we're wearing the owl shirt. Simply single origin beans. I've not heard of those, but that sounds like a good reason to spend some money. I love beans. I especially love dried beans because you can keep them for a long time. So if you come across some like fun dried beans out in the world at like a farmer's market or something like that, like they're always nice to just buy because you can keep them for a while. $200, welcome in. Thank you for the tier 1 resub. I appreciate you. Good morning. Are we all managing our existential dread nicely today? I am, sort of. Is that plate of garlic real? It is. It's garlic and shallot. Whoa! Shallot, I show it to you. It is real. No, we are not. No, we are not. Fair. And agreed. I love the fire remote. Oh, I figured out I need to set up a sound alert for IRL streams. Sorry, I just had an entirely separate thought. I was thinking, Sofluff, that when the stream is like borking, you put that emote, this is fine emote in chat sometimes, and whenever I see that, I'm like, oh no, something's gone wrong. In this case, it's not just me, it's the world. Okay, so the third thing we're going to do today is breakfast cookies. You know what? And I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. We might not even get to the breakfast cookies, and that's fine. It's fine if we don't. The breakfast cookies are something I just wanted to make. They don't have any. I'm not working on a specific recipe for these yet. I'm gonna try this recipe that I found and see if I like it or not. Lizzie, I have eyelashes in my eye. Lizzie Rain asks, what are breakfast cookies? Well, these are breakfast cookies because they were called breakfast cookies on the recipe. But I call them breakfast cookies. Laz is fine. Great. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. I appreciate it. These are cookies. When I was a kid, my mom used to make these. They are breakfast cookies only insofar as they have like, if you like squint a little bit, they're healthy. What do I mean by that? That was a rhetorical question that I'm asking myself to answer out loud. Welcome. They do have brown sugar, but they also have apples and oatmeal and cheddar cheese and rain. Gosh darn, man. What am I doing? What am I even doing today? I looked up, I meant to say raisins. I read the word rain on the screen and then I said rain. They have raisins, cheese, oatmeal, apples, and only a little bit of sugar. So healthy. Yeah. It's like, is it better than a bowl of cereal? Possibly. Like from a nutritional density / diversity standpoint. Yes, it would be better than a bowl of like cereal or a pancake. So in that sense, it's a breakfast cookie. They're generally speaking, just sort of like, non-sugar cookies. You basically just mix everything together in a bowl and plop it on a tray. And my mom used to make them when I was a kid, and it came up. It came up a while ago on stream, maybe like a month or 2 months ago, and I had not thought about these cookies in 20 years. And I got like kind of emotional about it, like thinking about it and sort of remembering that like cookie thing in my life. So I've been thinking about it since then. And this recipe that I found sort of is the closest approximation of what I remember about them. And this recipe, my mom who used to make these cookies, I had asked her, I reached out, I texted her, I was like, hey, do you remember these cookies you used to make? Like, what was in those? How do you make those? She was like, I have no idea. That was a long time ago. And I used to make them from memory. So, this is pretty close. So I'm going to make these and see where they stack up in my memory bank that I've like unlocked. And then I will go back and take this recipe and make it a more formal thing that is as close as possible to like what I remember. Does that make sense? I wish more people wrote down their recipes. So Fluff says totally. It's hard. I mean, if you just, if you make something over and over, it's like, oh, I don't need to write that down, and then you don't make it for 10 years and then it's gone. Yeah, Laz, food and scents. I totally agree with you. I think that I have a ton of food memories. I think a lot of it, I think a lot of people do. They anchor you to times and places and have a connection back, and someone mentioned like cookies or what, I don't even remember how it came up when I was mentioning these cookies, but I think the question was like, what's a food from childhood that you remember that like you haven't thought about in a long time or something like that. And I was like, oh, these cookies. And then I got like a flood of just like remembering where these kind of cookies were in my life. So they definitely do. And they have the power to unlock stuff too. Unlock, when someone says a specific food and you remember it from like an event or, you know, a thing that you ate at a relative's house. Like someone says to me like candy peanuts, right? Like just the candy peanuts. I immediately think of like my grandparents and the fact that they had bulk candy peanuts in the drawer. And then I remember what the drawers looked in their kitchen looked like. And then I remember like the stool in the backyard and sort of, yeah, as soon as you say one thing, it puts you firmly back into a whole other host of things. And I love food for that reason. It's fantastic. Read the ingredients and guess what it's going to make. Avo, that's like my problem in general is I write things down. I often write things down. And with this recipe, with the succotash one specifically, like I wrote in my notebook, like this was really good. Everyone loved this. And then I promptly forgot about it. But someone in Discord, when I made it, had asked for, can you like give me like rough measurements? And I had typed it into Discord and hit enter. And so when and it was there in the recipes channel from like way back. So I actually had the details. So I'm a little farther ahead on both of these. There's a question about savory cookies, Sita. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, we were definitely talking about exactly. And I'm like, savory cookies, and these are they. Dude Mesa, welcome in. Welcome in. Sweet potato cookies, hell yeah. It just unlocks. It unlocks all sorts of stuff. It's pretty great. We should get started. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So we have, like I said, a couple things to do today. And we're going to start by cooking pasta. This recipe calls for 8 ounces of pasta, so half a pound. I'm gonna make the full box. I'm gonna make the full box, and I'm going to make a double batch of this. I'm gonna make one from the recipe exactly, and then another with some adjustments. So I'm basically gonna make like 2 half batches. Favorite, shallots and garlic. Heck yeah. That is what you see. We're doing shallots and garlic later today, but here they are if you'd like them now. Roma says, random question, but how did you get started in cooking and baking and get to a place where it's been a regular part of your routine? Good question. From a routine standpoint, it's been a routine since Calvin was born. When I started making him purees. So once he was off and into like solids, I made his purees. And then I have been like doing super regular cooking since then. Getting into cooking as an interest happened a couple years before that. When I was kind of out of college, and that was more of a hobbyist thing though, where it's like, let me see if I can I remember one time trying to make General Tso's chicken and deep fry in a wok and lighting the stove on fire and having to use like a fire extinguisher on that. We have yet to use a fire extinguisher on stream. Fact. I have one. It's right there, and I check it basically every time I open the sink. I'm like, is this charged? Guy, welcome in. Knock on wood. Done. Also, you could probably hear that. I bet you could just hear that when I knocked on the cabinet. And that means that when Daisy comes around, that means you'll be able to hear Daisy barking and doing her like woo, 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 at me. So we're gonna make Daisy come downstairs today so that can happen. Yeah, but I think from to kind of tie that one off, a routine. The routine started when Calvin started on solid foods. Gwen and I had been ordering Blue Apron for like a decade prior to that, for a long time. So from a cooking perspective, like we were cooking, I was cooking a couple nights a week doing like Blue Aprons, right? Like, early career millennial shit. And that sort of became unsustainable when Calvin started eating solid foods. And then I started shopping more. So the sound of the paper shuffling. Oh, you could hear that? Wow, you can hear a lot more. I bet you can probably, can you hear that tapping sound? Because that is what I'm doing when I'm standing at the counter like this, and you've never heard that before. Anyway, we have set off the alarm a few times. Yes, that is true. That does happen. And you know what? You would hear that too. I did not get a new mic. I went into my sound settings on the computer and like figured out how to change. There was a setting at like the top, literally like the main set. When you click into the microphone settings on the system, it's like a button that's right there, and it's the setting is, it's something like, do you want to, hold on, I'll tell you exactly what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it says. I'm using Windows 11. Under microphone, this is the part where I like go to do something and it's like, it crashes. There's a setting in here that says audio enhancements. Select an enhancement, off or default. So I used to be on. I just literally turned it off, and then I added a filter in OBS. And you heard the utensils. Nice. Yeah, I've been meaning to like make that change for a while, and we were talking when I think it was when I was hanging out on Saturday with Cheese in the market. He said something about like, oh, maybe it's whatever. Like, oh, it's probably just like the mic setting in Windows. He was very like, oh, that's easy. Like not dismissive about it, not dismissive of me, but dismissive of the complexity of the problem, right? Which is fair because it's a thing I've been complaining about for 2 years since I got these mics, and it really was just a button in the system. Anyway, I turned that off, and now we're in a place of I'm gonna need to make some adjustments. So when I go back and watch a little bit of this stream, I will have notes on like, oh, you need to like get the S's, I need to like filter the S and the P that out and whatever. And maybe I need to change some settings about how my music comes through, or how like sounds come through. I don't know. That is gonna happen. Like I'll do that. But for now, I feel like it's in a good spot. It's I'm always concerned that it's gonna be too loud. Exactly, that it's gonna be like, and then sound is more important than video. Just like full stop. Yeah, On the Windows settings, I just hadn't looked at the Windows settings in ever, and I don't know why. It's important to me now, though. So the next stream on Thursday will probably have some adjustments to the mic. It'll probably sound a wee bit different, but not super different. I don't know, maybe it'll sound super different. Who knows? Okay, let's look at the notes that I made. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna make some notes on my recipe itself from the ones that I had in my notebook when I was researching. And then, oh God, except you can hear, oh, this is gonna be bad though, because like, I often have like little belches. And you're gonna hear, this is gonna be a little different. Please bear with me. Although I'm way past listening to myself talk. I've clipped the stream enough to, I know exactly what I sound like, and it's fine. There's a moment, there's definitely a tipping point. There's absolutely a tipping point where you're just like, yep, not changing. I can either continue to cringe at myself or I can just be fine. I feel like I'm just fine now. Okay. What else could we add into this? Other ingredients. We could have coconut. We could have mini marshmallows. I need to take a measure of the fruit juice. So I want juice from the pineapple and oranges. I don't think I want the cherry juice because it's like super viscous. And let's see, what else could you add to this? Nuts. You could add different spices to this. Not like spicy stuff, but see, normally I was reserving that. I would usually just let that one rip because the mic didn't pick it up. I just like cover my mouth and sort of go with it. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot. There's a lot of sounds I feel like I'm just allow to happen in the kitchen because I know that they're not coming through on stream. I'm gonna have to watch myself. Truly. Cherry juice is cherry is an overpowering flavor, and also the color. It's I don't want this to be red. It could be red. You can put nuts in it, you can put spices. Oh, blueberries. That's the other thing. I really think that this would be better with blueberries in it. And I may add blueberries to one of the batches. So I said I'm gonna make a batch. I'm gonna make 2 batches today. One with basically the same, but one with more egg yolk, and more egg yolk, less sugar. We'll get there when we get there. I wish there was an easy to clean fidget. Yeah, I feel that. I feel. You know, it might be an easy to clean fidget. I'll be like dead serious with you, like a baby toy, like a wooden baby toy. Because it's meant to go in your mouth and like be able to be rinsed off. I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day. To be honest, I was thinking about one of Calvin. I was thinking about fidgets the other day, and then I was thinking about one of Calvin's toys that he had when he was a child, real young, and he was in the stroller, and I had it tied to the stroller because he used to like throw it out of the stroller. I was thinking about that wooden toy the other day, and I was like, damn, that was satisfying to hold. They do make great fidgets, so Fluff. Yes. Get a butterfly knife, but it's a chef knife. No. A butterfly knife is a terrible fidget toy. It's a fidget toy for those with a lot of confidence. And maybe not a lot of fingertips. Or aspirational non-fingertip havers. What else could you put in here? You could put vanilla in here, or another syrup, or liqueur. You could definitely put a liqueur in here. That would be probably pretty nice. Maybe some coconut rum. Coconut rum is not a liqueur. That is a liquor. But whatever. And okay. I need a measure for juice, so I need to make sure I measure for juice. And let's read this recipe. I know we're gonna read the recipe through. I'm gonna put a pot of water on the stove. Then we're gonna take a quick break to play some words on stream and run our first ad of the stream. So that's coming up. Just a heads up. Recipe: 8 ounces of orzo or rosa marina number 37 pasta. Looks like rice. Yup. 1 can of crushed pineapple. I have 2 different types of pineapple here, and I'm going to use 1 in each batch. I've got a crushed pineapple, and I have a pineapple tidbits, which is a super satisfying name. The functional difference between these two, I believe, is just size. I want to see which one sort of feels better in this salad. So we're gonna make a double batch. We're gonna make 2 different versions of this and see what I like about each version. 2 small or 1 large can of mandarin oranges. So we have these. Again, mandarin oranges. These are all just your basic, like, from the store Wegmans situations. And you just ate a can of mandarins? I don't think I've had a can of mandarins in in a very long time. I'm looking forward to them, honestly. And 8 to 10 maraschino cherries. Again, we shopped at Wegmans. Yes, we did. I was going to go to Costco, but I didn't need a case of pineapple. I just needed like several cans. It also calls for sugar, flour, egg, which are both on the counter and in the fridge, respectively, and then Cool Whip. So easy enough to do. I'm gonna put a big pot of water on the stove. Let's get a pot of water going, and we'll toss our orzo in here. Cook pasta, drain and set in the fridge to cool. Drain cans of fruit in a colander and set over a saucepan. So just drain the fruit. Got it. Pour fruit in with pasta. Keep 1 cup of the drained fruit juice and pour out the rest. Never pour out the rest until you're done. In the saucepan, heat 1 cup of juice with 1 cup of sugar, stirring to dissolve the sugar. Mix 3 tablespoons of flour with some of the juice. Stir well and add back to the juice in the pan to thicken. Stir some of the hot juice mix into 1 beaten egg and add that to the pan and stir well. Stir the thickened sauce into the cooled pasta and fruit. Refrigerate. Add the Cool Whip when cool and ready to serve. We can hear the water. Oh, weird. 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 That is odd. You can probably hear that too. Is this a good, like, is this a good thing? Is it a good thing that you can hear that? Like, and be like, be real, because I don't, I'm not really sure all of the things that you're hearing. So there may be some like, it may be too much. Like there may be, I don't know. My window is currently open. Can you hear the birds outside? It's satisfying and immersive. Cool. I'm glad. Oh shoot, we have an ad starting. Hey, heads up, if you're watching on Twitch, you're gonna get an ad. It's 3 minutes long. We'll be back in just a few minutes and we're gonna play a game of words on stream in the meantime. Here it comes. It just says ad starting soon. If you're new to the stream, we run ads every hour for 3 minutes. There it is. Okay. Whatever.
I hate.
Let's play a game of words on stream. Yeesh. I've gone and messed that one up. It didn't know it had just said it's starting. Cottage. Look at the Canadian getting cottage first. Imagine that. I'm just kidding. You usually get the longest word. Oh, you're gonna hear me cracking my knuckles too. That's weird. Possibly annoying and gross. KSMR. Knuckle SMR. At least one 4-letter word still starts with a C. Nope, not anymore. All the rest of the 4-letter words start with T. Because that's, yeah. I was just typing that one. T. T-O. Oh my. This one is... That one had some weird combos in it. Laz, thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. I don't know if Laz can hear me because Laz is not a subscriber at the moment. Okay. Oh, shoot. We got one more. We can play one more. Yes. That's the advantage of seeing the screen first. Oh, remembers. That's even longer. Okay, but meme is a word. But meme is literally a word. Now I'm annoyed. Now I'm really annoyed. I'm gonna keep typing it. Maybe it'll take it next time. Welcome back. If you are experiencing an advertising break on Twitch, thank you for your patience. I appreciate you. Ads are not anyone's favorite cuppa, as they say in other parts of the world, but we run them anyway, and we run them and play a game of words on stream. And there's no pre-rolls on the channel, so if you popped in and you didn't get an ad, that's why. We're playing a game of words on stream. I'm trying to see words here, but it is, this one's difficult. It's not actually, I don't know why this one feels harder than it is. I guess I'm salty that meme wasn't a word. Like meme is definitely a word. Beer. I was trying to think of that word. I was like, what is B-E-E? What could it be? It's beer. Okay. Well, a dubious beginning to our Words on Stream journey today. Which is fine. We're just getting started. It is 12:30 p.m. my time. Okay. I think I wonder if I should. I'm debating whether I should salt this water. I don't think so. And I'm trying to remember if there were recipes that said to salt the water. I don't recall, but I feel like I'm gonna make sort of a custard. So I think I'm gonna put like a pinch of salt in the actual sauce that goes on here. So I don't think I want to do that. I think I just, because I'm also trying to remember this from when I was a kid, and my recollection is that the pasta was like sweet. And the reason that the pasta is sweet is because you put the sauce on it, which has like a cup of sugar and then all of the juice from the pineapples and the oranges, and it soaks that in. It like soaks it in overnight. So that is a big part of it. That was the other two things. I wanted to see, okay, so number one, we're gonna do two different versions. Let's do one version that is soaked overnight without the fruit in it, and then another version that is soaked with the fruit in it. And when I say that, I mean soaking the orzo in the reduced syrup mixture overnight, and then adding the fruit and the Cool Whip the next day, or soaking the mixture and without the fruit, or with the fruit in it and without the fruit. My sense is that putting the fruit in it would be better, because when the fruit leaches some of its liquid, it's gonna get absorbed by the orzo. And if you mix that in with the Cool Whip and then the fruit leaches some of that liquid out, I'm guessing that it's going to turn into a more liquidy experience. So we'll see. And let me write down that that's what I want to do. And then the one with the fruit, I'm going to add blueberries to. And what are the other things I wanted to do? Oh, the soaking without the fruit, I will do an additional egg yolk. To maybe make that a little bit more custardy. Okay. Good. We have our process. This is not a hard recipe to make. It's feeling complicated only because I'm trying to keep track of everything. And to that end, I'm going to keep my notebook and like paper right here. I usually have it sitting up on the stand, but I want to be able to make notes. Also, this pen sucks. I need a different one. Okay. A little cup on the counter. Has all the tools, the spoons, the rulers, the pens. Okay, any other notes from this? On the original recipe that I have, it says use fruit canned in juice. Since this recipe already has 1 cup of sugar, if you must use sweetened fruit, you'll want to reduce the sugar to 3/4 cup or less to your taste. Okay, that's a great note. And this is in pineapple juice and then pear juice. So we're in juice, we're not in heavy syrup. So that's good. Other note, this makes a large amount, it says. Cool. I'm gonna package some of this up and probably give it to friends. Easy to make a day ahead and add Cool Whip before serving. Yes, as it says. Water is over here. Water is about to boil. I want the orzo to be al dente, and that says 8 minutes. I want it to be al dente because it's going to be soaking in a sauce, and I want it to soak up the rest of that sauce. So I don't want this to be like mushy. Important. That's about to boil. Cook pasta, drain, and set in the fridge to cool. So I want to... I'm going to cook all of this at once, and then I'll split this in half. I'll split this in half when it comes out. Beep boop Beth, welcome in. Hello! Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone. All right, let's get 2 different bowls here. Because when I put this in the fridge, I am going to separate it into its component parts, and let's get this out. Don't need all these. All right, hold on. I'm going to move this. So you can hear that now? I can see it on the microphone. Like, I can see the little levels going up and down. That's super cool. I'm elated that there are some kitchen sounds happening. Because they've never happened before. They've always happened, just only for me. Okay. Cook pasta. Drain cans of fruit in colander and set over a saucepan. Okay, so also I'm gonna need to make the sauce for this twice, which is okay. But I need to measure the sauce first. Oh yeah, you can hear all those pots banging around now. All right, I'm literally just getting everything out. So, all right, saucepans. I might just use the same saucepan because it only takes like a couple minutes to cook the thing. But we're definitely gonna rest it in these 2 containers. So I'm gonna separate one recipe in each. I want to measure the juice volume though, because if you use fresh fruit in this recipe, which you could definitely do, you would want to use fruit juice or some sort of additional liquid for this. So I want to make sure I know how much volume the juice has. Weight, and I guess just weight. I'm just going to measure it, and by measuring it, I'll know how much volume it is, because it's juice, and the equivalency is going to be pretty close to water, which is 1 milliliter per gram. Anyway, we are okay. So I'm going to drain that into bowls. I need 1 large can of crushed. Let's just start with the regular recipe. Crushed pineapple. Can opener. So this is a recipe that I remember from when I was a kid. My mom used to make this for like picnics. It was always sort of like the potluck thing, like, oh, I'll bring rosemary salad. And it's I say retro because it's like canned fruit and Cool Whip. So it is a retro recipe in that regard. These all have pull tabs. Okay. It's a sort of a dessert. It's definitely a dessert. I would classify this as a dessert. You could, much like the breakfast cookies, if you squint hard enough, you could pass this off as a breakfast, a meal perhaps. I don't know that I would call it a meal, but I do know that when I was a child, I ate it as a meal, so, you know. Drain cans of fruit in a colander and set over a saucepan. Okay, so we're just gonna drain the crushed pineapple here. Now, I pretty much instantly know that I prefer the pineapple tidbits here. I think. Not I hope. I don't really have a sense of which one I want to prefer. I do know that I am looking at this, and this is not the consistency that I had in mind. So, for what it's worth, I'm leaning towards the tidbits at the moment. But we'll see. And also, I'm assuming they're easier to drain. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm getting very excited here. Pineapple can. Not everybody's coming out at once. Let's chill for a second. Whew. This is not the right size colander. This is not the right size for doing this at all. Which, again, totally fine. I'm just making it slightly more difficult than it should be. Oh, okay. That's it for the crushed pineapple. I have not had crushed pineapple in a long time either. I usually have fresh pineapple. I love getting a fresh pineapple from the store and just cutting it up and like eating it out of the fridge. That is definitely a favorite. Horrifying Jello recipes. Yes, this does not have. This has. It's a little bit more accessible, and there's no molding involved. No molding, no hot dogs. Just dessert. Okay, so crushed pineapple is 190. Tidbits is TBD. Darla, thank you. Sometimes I'm just like not intentionally trying to be funny, but it's like, you know, just like, oh, this is how it is. To strain your tea. Oh yeah. Oh, inside out. Good idea. I love this colander. This little thing is, I used to use this for cocktails all the time. This was sort of like the cocktail colander. Let's just say 200. That was 200, 201. Okay. So that was the crushed, and I'm going to keep the crushed next to that. So hold on. We need, because I'm making two versions of this, I need basically two assembly line situations here where I know what went into what. Okay. Oh, we had a fit check redeem, Sita. I see that. I forgot. I didn't forget. Okay, I'm supposed to write a Post-it for 1 and 2. I put them both on the same Post-it. There we go. Okay. So number 1 has crushed. Number 2 has tidbits. And we'll note that here. Okay. Tidbits is such a funny term. This is good. And we will do, remind me in a moment, we'll do a fit check as soon as I'm done with this. This is a lot easier to drain. Here we go. So far the tidbits are the winner. Tucson, welcome in. Mostly wanting to hear about the owl sweater. Heard. Well, I can tell you, the owl sweater I got at a thrift shop on South Street a while ago. I don't even know. A while ago. I definitely don't remember when. Probably within the past 4 or 5 years. It's a relatively recent acquisition. In terms of my my closet. Whoop! Hold on. I failed. I've lost several tidbits into the liquid here. We gotta fish those out. That's no good. We can't have tidbits. We must have only liquid. Wow, the tidbits can gave up quite a bit more juice. I guess that's because it's not retaining as much juice in the actual fruit. The crushed pineapple is sort of like more liquid, almost by design. Okay, 209 grams. Say 210 because that's an easy number. Nice dice, welcome in. I am 100% team pineapple on pizza. Just like, I'll put that out there in case there's any confusion. Why there would be confusion over whether or not I like pineapple on pizza, I don't know, but you know, whatever. Okay, let's see what fit check. We have not done a fit check with this camera yet, so bear with me as I dial it in for the best possible visual user experience. Let's see. Whoa, that's a little better. Okay, so if I stand over by the table, it'll work. Pineapple and hamburger? Hell yeah, grill that thing. Grill that pineapple. You gotta, if you're putting it on a burger, you gotta grill it. That's the move. Okay, what am I wearing today? I'm wearing a hat from Ape and Bird. I have Crocs, socks from Darn Tough, shorts. I'm wearing a t-shirt with emotes from the channel on it. And then an owl sweatshirt. Which is kind of my favorite. That's, yeah, I'm in my like I'm in my like house clothes today. Underwear or boxers? No. Looks pretty German. Wait, what looks pretty German? The owl sweatshirt? Cito, why not both? I would organize I would organize first. I would organize before filling with new. That's always I think my personal preference is to organize, get the vessel, the container, i.e. your refrigerator, freezer, organized before adding more to it. That way you know where you're going to put it and you like create the space for it. That is my advice. I don't know. So, oh, okay. Is that a German? Yeah, I feel, I'm at some point today I'm going to take this sweatshirt off because at some point I'm going to sweat and it's going to get not great. But we're not quite there yet. I'm going to also measure the solids here because I just want to know how much I have from each. And this is the same size bowl. Yes, this is the same bowl. That's the matching bowl. Okay, it is the matching bowl. So for the crushed pineapple, I've got 390. For the tidbits, 377. And then the oranges we're going to get to next. Oranges, I'm going to put the same amount in each version, so there's no difference between those two. And the oranges I'll just put into a smaller bowl, question mark? Yeah, oranges we'll put into, the solids we'll put into this bowl. Okay, and the tear for that bowl is because I'm using a different bowl. Tear for this is 75. Easy. Are the kids old enough to make you a grandpa? No. 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 Dude Mesa, we will. Listen, I promised you at some point I'm going to take this sweatshirt off. Is it going to be exciting in that way? I don't know. Maybe you'll get a little thrill out of it, but it's not going to be intentional. Anyway, lurkers welcomed. Kathy, welcome in. All right, let's get these juices finished. Oh yeah, love a mandarin orange. It's so ridiculous. These little, like, the thing about these, I think like anything with food, the more it's like so processed. This is as processed a food as you could get without like them eating it for you. It's they're peeled. They're just ready to pop in your mouth. There's no effort. It's kind of why I love them. The only way to eat a mandarin. Yeah, because otherwise they're just like, you have to eat 17 of them. Anytime I have mandarin oranges in my life, I'm sort of like, I grab like a handful of them. You get the bagged ones. Okay, juice. It doesn't actually matter which one we start with because we're putting the same in each. So let's just go. I'm gonna use 2 cans of orange. And again, we're going with the tiny colander. Just going with the tiny one. Okay, that was 137. 137 milliliters, if you want to get into it. Oh. No, it wasn't. Because I only did 1 can. Okay, well maybe it'll be double. Maybe it'll be 274. Very well could be. We're almost... Did I watch yesterday? I did not. I was unfortunately not on Twitch yesterday. That's not true. I was on Twitch last night, but by that point he was finished. I'm glad that the peeps came out though. When I was saying about like creativity on Cheese's channel, like that's what I was talking about. That type of thing is fun. Was there anything truly horrific? Asking the important questions, of course. Okay, so solids on here. This was 75 tear. Yeah, 75. So whatever this comes to, we're going to take 75 off of it. 423 minus 75, 348. And let's just separate these slightly visually as I'm working through. Yeah, you can hear that can moving around. Oh man, kitchen sounds. Kitchen sounds. Kind of wild. We've never had kitchen sounds before. It's a brave new world. Okay. Next. Is my water boiling yet? What the hell? Okay, yeah, it is. Pickled peeps. Mmm. Yeah, he was talking about that. That seems cursed. I would definitely eat one though. Speaking of. God, mandarin oranges are so good. Oh my God. I'd definitely eat a whole can of those. Orzo. This is a whole pound of orzo. Bring 3 quarts of water to a boil. Salt if desired. I do not. Add desired amount of pasta and stir. Reduce heat. Cook 8 minutes to al dente. All right, so we're gonna do 8 minutes. We will do 8 minutes here. We're gonna give the water a little swirl. I'm gonna stir the orzo in and start. Okay, 8 minutes on the clock, and that'll just give me just enough time to measure out the rest of these ingredients. And now you can hear things like me opening the recycling bin, pressing in all the stuff, and closing it again. Okay, more juice. More! Adrian Brody meme. We're at 0. We're teared. Oh, I could just do this. Oh, man. The smartest man in the world. Cupcakes, cookies, okay. A peepsicle. Rice Krispies sounds kind of fun, honestly. Rice Krispies and ice cream sound like the best of what you're gonna get. But inside out. Oh yeah, so you're doing it like that. That tracks. Whoa, I don't want to do that. Okay. That makes sense now. I can't do this with a full-size can. It's a little bit larger. And so when I was pouring out the full-size cans, I was like, I definitely, whoa, very excited. All right, when I was pouring out the full-size cans, I was sort of like, couldn't do it, but that seemed to work really well. All right, I think I'm done with the strainer. Juice on this one is 276, so we're pretty close. And the solids on this are also pretty close. 418 minus 75, 343. Within 5 grams. Acceptable. Acceptable. Okay, and the last thing here is 8 to 10 maraschino cherries. Hey, look who it is. Lemon, good to see you. I've been waiting to use that pun. Not specifically for your arrival, but just in general. I love owls too. My gamer tag, as it has been for years, is Great Horned Owls. And now you know. 8 to 10 maraschino cherries. So drained fruit. Got it. We have 8 to 10 maraschino cherries. How's it going? It's good. Generally speaking, today has been a good one. It's we're trying out some new sound today. I made some adjustments on my microphone, so in that sense it's going well. The world is still outside, and that's scary, but making a recipe that I'm excited about today, and it's Who's Day, so it's a good one. 8 to 10 maraschino cherries. Let's get these just like popped out of this can. This is the part where I stain something. So watch it happen. We'll be ready. These happen to have stems on them, so we need to take the stems off. But let's just get in here and get a few of these unnaturally colored cherries out of here. Oh, there it is. There it is. We got one. See? Don't give a shit about pride. Okay. Ate a whole jar of Luxardos. Oh my god. These, it's wild. It's really funny because when I was looking at like maraschino cherries in this right in the store, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I was looking at the cherries in the store, it was like really cheap cherries, maraschino cherries from Wegmans, or really good maraschino cherries. And the price difference was like $20 difference. And I was like, if I was making a fruit salad for a super special occasion, maybe. I was like, this is for testing a recipe. We're not messing with that today. So, also, I'm just gonna stem these cherries and weigh them into this other little bowl. And then we're gonna check on that pasta. Pasta has 2 minutes left, so we should have just enough time here to finish these. And yeah, I just don't want cherry juice all over my white sweatshirt. Normally, not an issue because I'm wearing black. There is a time and a place for the fancy ones. As I'm looking around for my towel. Cherries are 65 grams. I would love to use the fancy ones. I mean, I feel like I would use the fancy ones not in like testing a recipe, but in actually like making it maybe. It is in my belly. That is true. That is also true. Yeah, and I the time is like when you 4, 5 when you're standing in front of the fridge late at night. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I almost got one. 10. And then obviously I have to eat one of these just to like make sure they're still good. Heck yeah. So, I hope the meal prep went well. I hope the meal prep went as expected. All right, I got a couple seconds left on my pasta, just enough to finish these cherries, and then we're gonna check on the pasta. I put the pasta in for the 8-minute time. It was said 8 minutes to al dente, so we're gonna check it at that point. I don't want it to be too much past al dente. I don't want it to be overcooked because it's not getting cooked again, and it is. It's not like getting, when I say cooked again, I mean it's not getting like, it's not going in a sauce. There's no other heat being applied to it after this, but it is going in with some syrup, essentially a simple syrup / custardy situation, and that is going to get absorbed. And now you can hear that alarm, I bet. Yeah, I bet that alarm was audible. All right, let's check on this orzo. It was audible. Time to cook and make it dirty again. Abo, that's like... Oh. It looks like we're lagging. Encoding overloaded, it says. Interesting. Consider turning down your video or using a faster encoding preset. Huh. I wonder what changed. I didn't change anything. Yeah, all right. That's just straight. Not a sink. This is very, this is definitely similar to that. I'm like, this is choppy. It looks choppy to me. Oh, that camera. This camera's lagging quite a bit. Maybe it's that. Okay. I need to this out. Like, okay, that's great. Oh. I'm going to put this pasta in on my fries. The only thing that changed with that is doing something that was that. So let me switch that. I'm going to that is not really ready. Alright. That is steamy. One thing we're supposed to do today. Because I'm not back in. This time, I've had much. Okay, try this. That. Well, we're going to turn into for me. What is fix. Okay. Actually, a little better. I moved the other camera. Also, okay. Foreign language. No bit. No bit. Yeah. I'm looking what's using all my doing. Okay. I'm working on Y system.